Bonjour. So in this video, we are going to try and understand French verbs, and we are going to try and conjugate this in present tense. So understanding French verbs, present tense explained in English. Verbs tend to pose a lot of problems to people who are trying to understand why are we conjugating these verbs. So in French verbs are divided into two major groups. We have the regular verbs, les verbes réguliers, and the irregular verbs, which are formerly known as les verbes irréguliers. So we have two major groups. We have the regular verbs and the irregular verbs. Now let's start with the regular verbs. The regular verbs, when you talk about les verbes réguliers, we are talking about verbs that follow a particular pattern, meaning they end in a similar way or they have a stem, and from the stem we can therefore add their endings. Now we have premier group, les verbes en premier groupe, verbs in the first group like danser, travailler, écouter, manger, cuisiner. Les verbes en deuxième groupe, ce sont les verbes qui se terminent en IR comme agir, finir, choisir, remplir, grandir. Les verbes en troisième groupe, ce sont les verbes qui se terminent en RO comme descendre, attendre, entendre, rendre, répondre, perdre. So those are the different groups for the regular verbs. And these verbs are known as les verbes réguliers. When you look at the ER verbs, when you remove the ER, you remove the ER, what remains is the stem. Okay? When you remove all of them are ending with ER. So ce sont les verbes réguliers en ER. The same for les verbes on ER. When you remove the ER, what remains is the stem, and from the stem we're going to add the endings of IR verbs. And the third group is les verbes on RE, les verbes on RO. When you remove the RE, what remains is the stem. So, les terminaisons. So, these verbs therefore have an ending. Premier groupe, je, tu, es, il, elle, nous, ons, vous, oz, il, elle, ont. Les verbes en IR, je, c'est is, tu, is, il, elle, it, nous, I2S, ONS, vous, I2S, OZ, il, elle, I2S, ONT. Et puis, troisième groupe, les verbes en RO, on va ajouter je, S, tu, S, il, elle, rien, nous, ONS, vous, OZ, il, elle, ONT. Now, let's look at the first group. Let's look at the first group, les verbes en RO, the verbs in ER. Okay, so we have said the endings for ER verbs are O, OS, O, ONS, OZ, ONT. So we're going to have the verb chanter, which means to sing, and we remove the ER, the ER, and then add the ending. So je chante, tu chantes, il, elle chante, nous chantons, vous chantez, il, elle chante. Okay, now let's look at the deuxième groupe, les verbes en IR. Deuxième groupe, alors on va identifier le stem. We are going to identify the stem by removing IR à l'infinitive, and then we're going to add the endings of IR verbs. Okay, so this is going to be je finis, tu finis, il, elle finit, nous finissons, vous finissez, il, elle finissent. And then we are going to look at troisième groupe, les verbes en RO, the verbs in RE. Troisième groupe, comme attendre, which ends in RE. And the endings, we're going to remove the RE, et puis on va ajouter les terminaisons des verbes en RO. Alors, pour je, c'est S, tu, c'est S, il, on n'ajoute rien. Nous, ONS, vous, OZ, il, elle, ONT. Okay, so this is going to be j'attends, tu attends, il attend, nous attendons, vous attendez, ils attendent. So the here the ending should end with a T. Okay, les terminaisons. Now, we are done with the regular verbs. Now we are going to talk about les verbes irréguliers, irregular verbs. There is a long list of irregular verbs, and these verbs can end in IR, RE, and all that, but they're irregular because they don't follow any particular pattern like the regular verbs. Exemple des verbes irréguliers, on a être, avoir, faire, pouvoir, aller, prendre, boire, écrire, lire et partir. So we're just going to conjugate a few of these verbs. Exemple, on va conjuguer le verbe être. Pour conjuguer ce verbe, on va dire je suis, tu es, il est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils, elles sont, which translate to I am, you are, he is or she is, we are, you are, and they are. Deuxième verbe qu'on va conjuguer, c'est le verbe boire. Et boire, on va dire je bois, tu bois, il boit, nous buvons, vous buvez, ils boivent. Je bois, tu bois, il boit, elle boit, nous buvons, vous buvez, ils boivent. Even though this verb ends in RE, it's still an irregular verb. Another verb that you're going to do is the verb prendre, which means to take. So it's an irregular even if it's ending in RE, because on the new part and vous it changes in the plural part. So it's going to be je prends, tu prends, il, elle prend, nous prenons, vous prenez, ils, elles prennent. Je prends, tu prends, il, elle prend, nous prenons, vous prenez, ils prennent. Merci beaucoup et au revoir.